Hello, everyone, and welcome to Money Mondays. We are going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute. We're going to let everybody in from the waiting room. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. And I will just take 1 second to get everybody connected here. We're going to close out the waiting room, let everybody in. So thank you all for being here this evening. As we let a couple more people in the room, I am going to share my screen in just a second. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to mute everybody. You can go ahead and unmute yourselves if you have questions in a little bit. And we're going to just close out a couple things on my screen so it's easier to see. All right. So I wanted to show you guys a few different things this evening to start us off. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. See, a couple more people are joining us. So why are we here? Well, every Monday we do a different subject. Tonight we are focused on, first of all, let's talk about next week for a second. I just launched the Eventbrite for next week. And again, we do these every Monday night. You are welcome to attend whether you're at Exit Strategy or not. Next Monday, we're going to talk about text message marketing, how to implement it. If you're at Exit Strategy, you have Wise Agent as your CRM. We're really going to dive deep into Wise Agent for the next several weeks. And just in general, if you're not at Exit Strategy, you need to get a CRM that does have text messaging as a big feature of it. It's a big reason why I jumped to Wise Agent from our previous CRM. So next Monday, go ahead and text GROW with Exit Strategy to 85377, and you can get signed up for next week already. The week after, we're most likely going to be talking about digital ads, how to grow your database, talk to people that you have not yet talked to, and automatically get them into your CRM and a drip campaign. So that's why we're here tonight. If you have never read any of my blog posts, I want to show you a couple things real quick in there as to why we are doing this series. And it's really all about lead generation, but more specifically, how to interact with more people on a daily basis, but make it easier for you. So just give me 1 second. We're going to go ahead and get into my blog that I do on LinkedIn for realtors. And so if you've never seen my articles, feel free to go in on my LinkedIn and do that. You've also got the opportunity to go into my YouTube, subscribe to that channel. But one of the things that I talk about with agents regularly is getting into the idea of lead funnels. And so tonight we're going to talk about lead funnels and lead magnets. What is a lead funnel? Well, that is the different ways that you bring leads in and create a relationship orbit around them. We talked about relationship orbits on Money Mondays. You can go on my YouTube channel and check that out. But this evening, what we want to talk about is how to get people into your lead funnels. And that's going to be called lead magnets. And once you get into, I'm just going to mute a couple of people there. Once you get into the lead magnets, a lead magnet is a way to attract people into your sphere. And once you get them in, the big disconnect we're having is that people are busy. I understand that you're realtors, you're running around trying to get your buyers in properties and your sellers on the market. But what we're finding is sometimes you're generating leads and you're not even able to do the proper follow-up. And so our CRM has a system for that. If you're not in our CRM, if you're not at Exit Strategy, that's okay. Maybe your CRM, you can teach it how to do this. Our CRM has a way to get all of your leads as they come in into what we call lead funnels, and then automatically now get them into a drip campaign. What is a drip campaign? Well, a drip campaign is just some simple lead follow-up. So I'm going to show you from Wise Agent something here in a second. Let me go ahead. I'm going to stop my share for just a moment and dig into my emails from earlier today, because I want to show you what a sample is going to look like of an automated drip campaign message. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay. So if you're generating leads, whether that is through some sort of ad campaign, it's just through your social media, etc., the struggle always is you can't seem to follow up fast enough. Well, our CRM has a way to get people into a lead funnel and then get them automatically into a drip campaign. So I have a drip campaign set up for sellers. I'm going to show you how to set one up for buyers this evening. Very, very simple plug and play things that you can completely customize later. But at the beginning, wouldn't it be nice if you had a new seller that or a new buyer that filled out a landing page form, just a quick form, and then got some regular contact from you that wasn't literally you sitting on your phone contacting them. Now, of course, this does not negate the need to physically actually reach out. But if you look at something simple like this, just some touches that are going to get out there, you absolutely need to do something like this to save yourself some time and work smarter, not harder. So let's go ahead into Wise Agent, and I want to show you a sample of what this looks like. So what it looks like in Wise Agent is you're going to start out by figuring out who you need to get into contact with the most in terms of what type of leads do you feel like you're generating the most. And that's where we're going to start. That's going to be your first landing page. So for me right now, one of the things that I'm noticing is that I'm dealing with a lot of sellers, which is great. But those sellers are they're taking time. They sometimes they want to fill out a form or they want to talk to me for 5 minutes, but they're not necessarily right away going on the market. And so what I wanted to offer to sellers, the same way that I'm going to show you tonight how to offer to buyers, is a landing page so that they can fill out their basic information. So if you go to my landing page for leverage, this is upgrading, downsizing, or relocating. This took me about 10 minutes to do in Wise Agent. I'm going to show you live tonight how to do it. This is, of course, being recorded so that then you can turn around and play this back later and stop it step by step. I can also walk you through, if you're at our office, on Find Out Fridays, I can show you even in more detail live. But I'm going to walk you through the whole thing tonight. So this is my landing page. Real quick, it's got a logo, it's got a title, and it's got a picture, nothing too amazing, but you can actually also completely customize this so it's anything you want. If you have a lot of information to give, like if you're like me, I have a lot of content, I like to share it, there is a way to basically just completely inform them of everything they possibly could ever do by creating anything you want on this landing page. So I have a video that I did. I've got the picture up talking about determining value. And then for those of us at EXIT Strategy, you have Zenlist. Zenlist is not just for buyers, it's also for sellers. There's an update to the app coming next week that's going to even be more seller focused. And so you want to get people signed up on the app. The disconnect has been that Zenlist is great, but once they're in Zenlist, there's no direct interaction with them automatically. So they're getting Zenlist, but then, okay, I'd like to create a drip campaign. I also want them automatically in my CRM. So what are you going to do to get that information? You're going to create this landing pages. Some people call them squeeze pages. So this was my lead magnet. My magnet was offering them Zenlist. And then once they figure out that they want that, they've got to just fill out this simple form. Well, guess what? Oh, wow, this looks familiar. I want what? Their first name, their last name, their email address, and their mobile phone number. And also, because they're a seller, I want their property address, their current property address. Once they click on that, they're going to actually get taken directly to Zenlist. I'm going to show you how to do that so that then they go directly to your landing page for Zenlist. They don't have to fill anything else out. They just click on sync up with Gmail or Facebook, however they want to use as their sign in. So they don't have to double data enter. And for you, this now eliminates the need to double data enter. There actually is no data entry, because when you set up the landing page, what you're then going to do is you're just going to add them to the drip campaign. So for example, if I go into my contacts and I look at my contact list, I have a contact that signed up through the landing page. There is his information. He's already on a drip campaign now. You'll see some of your information on here, so I'm going to get out of that page pretty quickly. But you can go into Wise Agent and then create a landing page first, but I'm going to walk you through the drip campaign quickly before that. So let's start with the drip campaign. Drip campaigns, you can completely customize anything you want, but Wise Agent has pre-loaded us with wonderful stuff. So if you look right now, I've got some active programs already running. So I just did the 12 touch seller campaign. So if you look at that, it's once a week. You can add anything you want to. You can add texting, which we're going to go into next week, texting. But for this week, I want to make it as easy as possible for you to do the buyer side and the seller side landing pages. So if you look at it, it's got a 12 total touch campaign. They're pre-done. So you saw the sample of this first one. You can change them, you can to your heart's content, but I would recommend just setting the darn thing up. And then later on, you can go back in and actually edit it the way you want to. So how do you add a drip campaign? Because they're already preloaded. So I'm going to go back into the main drip campaign page, and let's do that first. And then we'll go into the landing pages, because the whole point of the landing page is to grab their information, right? So you want a reason to follow up. You've got to have the content. Well, it's already pre-built all in here for you. So I've got a 6-touch buyer and an 8-touch buyer campaign. Let's go in and look what else is in here. You have to add the program. And again, don't do a custom one. I don't think any of us have time for that. We're going to do a stock program. And again, they're already all built in here. So if you go look at Wise Agent stock programs, and you can notice that there's already built out. We're going to do some custom ones later. Let's not do that tonight. We want to just do that standard one. Wise Agent stock programs. They've got 12 touch expireds. Okay, that would be a great one. 12 touch FSBOs, 12 touch move up, newly met. I mean, there's all different kinds of things in here that are great. So there is the 6-touch buyer we already talked about. There is the 6-touch seller, which we're not going to do right now. 8-touch buyer, which I've already got loaded. So there's all, I mean, you can play in here and really go all out if you'd like to, but let's for tonight say, okay, we're going to focus on the buyer side. I'm going to show us why later. So I did already do the 8-touch buyer loaded. I'm going to see if there's anyone that I didn't do yet. 6-touch buyer. And then let's see. And look, they've even got past clients in here, all kinds of great stuff. So I'm going to say for tonight, maybe I'll just load one as an example. So 12-touch move up. That's like a move up buyer. That's somebody that needs to move up to something different. And you can see that you can then send. So always click on auto send, no matter what part of the campaign it is. Click on auto send, and it's going to go ahead and automatically send them this stuff. You can choose a different time. You can choose if you want to move out the dates. All of this is set up to do once a week. You're not going to overwhelm them. Maybe if you wanted to do an expired campaign, it would be a little bit more aggressive. You can completely customize all this stuff. But for right now, you're just going to click on next, because we don't want to mess with too much. And then it's going to go in and say, all right, do you want to change any titles, things like that? Again, we don't want to do any of that right now. We don't want to change any of that. You can see you've got all different other options, like sending a text message that you can do. Let's not play with that tonight. We just want to get the emails done. We want to get this basic stuff done. And you can see, look at this great information. So this would be wonderful for move up buyers. And as a matter of fact, I might want to change, since my first landing page was about sellers, people that needed to sell and then buy, upgrading. I might want to change who gets or what drip campaign that particular landing page gets. And you can always change that later. So you can preview and send test emails. I'm not going to do any of that right now, because all we want to do for now is just keep moving in the actual stuff. So you've got to go through and you've got to click through all of them in order to do this. But let's first of all, you have to choose yes or no to send a copy to yourself. I do like to send a copy to myself, but let's go ahead and start with, got to go back to step 2. And then let's send a copy to myself, yes or no. let's see. Gotta go back one step there. All right, so 12 touch, move up. Actually, it didn't even ask me to do anything else on it, so fine. So we're gonna go ahead and just do it as is. So I'm gonna go ahead and click save. You can copy the program if you want to do a separate version of it for a different type of buyer. All right, so that is now saved. There's all of those different touches. So you didn't have to customize anything or even really touch anything. You can just go ahead and add it to your campaign. So let's now then that we've got that set up, let's go into marketing and let's create a landing page, because this is where you're then going to connect the landing page to the drip campaign. I know this sounds like a little bit of work, but trust me, it's worth it. If you are doing any sort of lead generation and are too busy to follow up and categorize people the right way, we are going to show that how to just get past all that. So if you look at some of the stuff that I've done already, you can create as many landing pages as possible. You can have unlimited landing pages. You just can only in your accounts. Now you notice I've got a couple different active and running at once right now. And since you're all new to this, create as many as you want, but you can only activate one at a time, and you've got to turn them on and off to only have one running at once. If you love them, you can buy additional ones. If I see you all using this regularly, I might be able to upgrade the office later on in a couple months, but I want to see you guys using it first, because right now we're not using this anywhere near as much as we should, any of the stuff. So one thing at a time. So there was my upgrading downsizing or relocating one. I've got one that's going to start running soon about investing in real estate. That's a different one. So let's, for tonight, look at the different templates they've got and look at all these. You've got an open house sign in. So imagine if you had an open house sign in form that then automatically sent them into the buyer campaign. Wouldn't that be amazing? So they do take a couple minutes to set up. So let me go ahead and just show you. Let's see if you want to do which one did I like the best the last time that I used? So the about me and how I go about my business. Let me show you this one. This is the one I used as the template that may look familiar. Guess why? Because I used that template and then obviously changed a couple things around. So I do like the way that it's already set up for you in a lot of ways. I did not do all the different, like connect with me on social media. The reason why I didn't do that is I didn't want to distract them from my primary purpose, which was to get them to sign up. So let's go ahead and do this. So again, this time I'm going to do it for buyers. So let's go ahead and create it. And then I'm going to change the name of the landing page. So we're going to call this, buyer resources. And then description, again, whatever you want to put there. We got the big thing is with this one is that this is not going to be the title of it. This is just like for your information and then for some meta tag sourcing, if you know what meta tags are. So let's say description. And then source. So where is the source? You can always, I like to source everything that's coming in. So seller campaigns, buyer campaigns, upgrade, downsize, or relocate. That actually, I'm going to take that one out because that's not a source. That was the title. I screwed that up. So I'm going to go ahead and say buyer campaigns. Again, you can always add a new one anywhere. So I'm going to save and create. And then now you've got some things to do. So, and again, once you do this once for one landing page, you actually can just copy that landing page. So you don't have to do all this stuff over and over again. But for tonight's example, I want to show you from the beginning versus just click on copy one of my other ones, because otherwise it's a little bit harder for you guys to understand what to do. So if you look at images, you can always upload your own images. I have my logo next to the EXIT Strategy logo. I love those of you guys that are embracing and doing your own logo. Amanda will do that for you for free. So if you wanted to do that with her, that's amazing. You may sometimes need to resize things. This one happened to fit perfect. All of these are mobile optimized. So if you go to any of the ones that I'm launching and doing, you'll see that they look great on mobile as well as on desktop. So let's see, let's change hi, my name is, we don't need to, then that's going to be adding a container. We don't want to do that. We just want to change the text. So the little plus buttons, by the way, those are the things that you can add additional elements like video, like all kinds of different content in here. But for today, we're going to keep it easy. So let's say, you know, I always like these little hashtags. Buyer resources from Nick. Okay. So then you go ahead and click save on anything. You can change any font, any size, any color of the text. These are, it does look like work, but the thing is, for those of you that are picky about the way things look, I get it. This allows you to customize however you want. So nice looking man there. That is not going to be the picture that I use. I'm going to use a picture that I update, that I use that I have of myself. So let's see, there's one cheesy one of me in a jacket. Then there's all different things you could use from Amanda. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I think for today, use this. And then, so that picture is way too big now. Let's go ahead and resize this. So let's see. Let's do a different size. So you can see it live changing itself in the background. So you can see it as, so that's a more normal size. It looks like they would maybe prefer something a little bit more horizontal, a bigger picture. But if you look at what I did on the other one that I launched and showed you guys earlier, let me show that to you again. You can see I used a small picture there too. So if you don't have video, that's okay. You could upload anything that you want to this. So you could do another picture, you could do text, you could do links. I'm going to show you how to do links in a second too. The more content you can give on the landing page, letting them know, obviously the big give, the big lead magnet is Zenlist. That would be the way to do it, but you can do anything else you want as far as information or resources. So I'm going to go ahead and do just some text changes here. That may help you navigate the market buyer from and attorney review. Using the form, the form below. More resources as well. Okay, so we can save that. We can make that a little bigger. That looks, yeah, let's do it that way. All right, so we're going to go ahead and did that. And then now let's talk about, actually, I want to make that text slightly smaller so you can see how easy it is, and you can do a custom one as well. So let's go ahead and do 1.8. And see, that's, yep, that lines up now. So you can just play with this to your heart's content. Then working with the right real estate agent can blah, 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 blah. All right, I think I want to change that. Let's see what I have below though. So the big thing is right down here. We'll go back to the video and how easy that is to change in a second. So the perfect home for you is out there, and I'd like the opportunity to help you find it. I'm going to change that to that language that I used about Zenlist in this other one. Where did that go? I need to find where I put that. All right, so let's see here. That a perfect property is for you out there, and I'd like the opportunity to help you find it. I guess I kept that language. So let's go back into the landing page. Do all caps. I did like that language, and I'd like the opportunity to help you find it. Sorry, my typing is a little slow tonight. Opportunity to help you find it. Okay, so that might not be the best place for that, but again, I'm just speeding through it because I feel like we'll be able to at any point change it later. On the other one, I noted we're going to start by doing blah, blah, blah. Watch the quick video below to discover just a few of the unique steps taken, then fill out the form below to get access to my special app. All right, let's change that language here. We will start by dive into your options and set up a search. Watch the video below and then fill out the form below that to gain access to my special app for free, which gives you more properties for sale than available on any public website, including private listings and previews. All right, so that's it for that. Then if you've got a video, now you can always add or change or delete things too. So if you look in this little plus sign, you can add a section, you can edit the section. So you can do settings, background, you can play with anything you want. I do have a different video, and I would love to see you guys start to do videos, even if they're just easy intros, or maybe it's a property that you've done a video at, whatever it is, give them a piece of you. That's why these landing pages are so dynamic versus the cheap traditional ones. Let's go into my channel, and I'm going to find out the address of the buyer one, because I've got to figure out where that is. All right, let's see my buyer ones. I've got way too many videos. Buyer and seller education. Let's see if it's in there. So if you ever want an idea of all the different things you can do as videos, feel free to take a look and use any of these. So here's my 12 essential steps to home buying. I am Nick. Subscribe to my channel. I'm always pumping new content out. This is an old video, but it is perfectly workable. You click on copy for the URL. So it only works with YouTube. If you need help on YouTube, I got videos. I can show you how to do it, but you're just going to, in this case, share that video. And then I am going to put in autoplay. And then I'm going to show player controls and video info in case they want to share it with somebody else. So you got all kinds of options. So I'm going to click on save. And see, now it's got my video. And so then there's the sign-in sheet, so to speak. And then the get in touch button, which will show you how that's going to get edited in a minute. All right, so get in touch. I did like the language that I used in this other one that said get resources now. So let's go ahead and change that again. That's what's the beauty of these landing pages. Anything is possible. So if you wanted to add a field, like what's your timeline, any other information, you can add those fields, and then you can see where it is. If you click on the asterisk, it's required. So let's go ahead and require their email address. And then require their phone number. So you can see these are, and notice, by the way, they make them, no matter what, do their first name and last name, but you absolutely should have their email and phone number, just like I coach you guys on how to do it in your cell phone. All right, so let's change the submit button from get in touch to a different one. So see right there, it says get in touch. We can now say get resources now. So that's the submit button. Let's go ahead and save that. So there we go. So I'm also, I think I mentioned to you, I'm going to take out, personally, my preference is to take out all these different social media things because I think it's distracting. You can add them to your social media later because you'll have all their contact information. And because it's going to go into a drip campaign, it's also going to have you, or any actually, contact in Wise Agent. And actually, I don't even think I want the rest of this. I'm going to take this stuff out too. Let's get rid of it. See how easy that is? Just get rid of anything that's, I think, distracting. We're going to keep this page easy now that we got the video on it. What you're going to do is you're going to want to make sure that they're filling out the form. But once they do, they're in your contacts. You would just click on lead enhancement. We've talked about that before. Lead enhancement, and all their social media, as much as Wise Agent can find, will come up. So let's go ahead and let's change my image. Again, once you've done one of these pages that you like, you can copy the page and then make that format go over and over again. So you don't have to fill this out over and over. The reason why they keep these a little bit more basic for you in terms of like the contact information, etc., is that they don't want you to have to redo things. If you're, so suppose like you're doing a landing page for a listing that's not yours. Let me say that again. If you're doing a landing page for a listing that's not yours, this is why they do this information this way. So you can fill things out and then you can put in the contact information for you, not the listing agent. So that's something to think about with these. So I'm just going to put my name. And did I delete that on this other one? Nope. There it is. So I got the logo and then my title. And we're almost done. I'm going to show you a couple more things on this though, and then we'll go into any questions. I think I did it with like the pure, yeah, stylistically, I kept it that way. Let's do that again. And then cell phone number or email. Okay. So then save. Now, so this is done. Can you believe it? That's done. But we're not done. We're done with the landing page. We're not done with connecting it to the drip campaigns. So let's do that. So click on menu. So the left side menu is if you want to edit things. The right side menu is the rest of the information on the landing page that's going to make it work for lead automation. See where it says select a source for lead automation? All right, buyer campaigns. So we're going to go ahead and make this active and then click or edit rules for leads. This is where it gets juicy. So we're going to add or edit rules once they are received by Wise Agent. So notice that I already said buyer campaigns. So if it's going into, if I've got that lead source as buyer campaigns, anytime you put anybody into buyer campaigns as a lead source, then that way that lead source is automatically going to go into, what is it? Let me show you again. So see where it says buyer campaigns? So you want to make sure that it's set up the way you want it to. And then you can categorize it too into potential buyers. So I've got a potential buyer Zen list. That's one of my categories. And then email response. I don't want to do an automated response. The reason why is I'm already setting them up on the drip campaign. You can do a wise text response too. I'm not going to do that tonight. We're going to talk about text messages next week. A big hang up that you might want to remember is notifications. They want to say, do you want notification emails? Yes or no. I do like it just because I can see what's going out. And then you can save that. And so then at that point, you are ready to go. So again, that is going into the rule, the lead rule for their buyer campaign. So that is the lead rule. It's going into that source. So then if you want a response, now let's think about this. They're filling out this form to get your Zen list, right? Let's make it easy. What we're going to do is we're going to redirect them instead of having it go back to this page or have a cheesy, thanks for filling out this form. Guess what's going to happen, guys? We're going to redirect them to the actual Zen list landing page. So if you're not in Zen list, well, if you're not at Exit Strategy, you're missing out because we've got Zen list. If you are at Exit Strategy, where do you find this link? I cannot say enough about Zen list, how amazing it is for my clients and your clients. You click on profile in Zen list and then see where it says Zen link. You copy that. And by the way, you notice it auto-populated already. It knew that I wanted that just because I've been in there so much. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that. And you can test it if you want to make sure that's where it goes. And look at where it goes. Now, I'm signed into Zen list. If it's not signed in, if they're not signed in, they will go to the sign in page as if they're a new client, because they are. And all it does is it asks them, do you want to connect with Google, Apple, I think it's Chrome, and then Facebook, so social media, whatever they want to link into, they don't have to sign in again. And you already have their contact information. So that's the beauty of this. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And again, what happens then? It goes right into your information and they get Zen list. So the lead magnet, they got what you promised them without you having to touch a button. All right. So I've got the buyer resources, helping buyers navigate the market. Image. So by the way, this image, the reason why it's different here, this is the image for metadata. So when you go and you share this page later, you want it to have your picture and stuff like that. I know you already put it in there here, up here on the left, but this is different. This was for metadata. So that is like when you share it later. So where does it say here? Used as preview image by social media and search engines. So for some reason, you didn't want a picture of yourself up here, but you wanted a different one when you shared it. I don't know really why you would, but there it is. Everything is right there and done. So it is now active. Now, one more step. Okay, are we alive? Are we good? One more step. So we've now activated that. Once you're done activating this page, there's nothing else you need to do here. We're going to go ahead and close this out. And we are done in here. So we want to make sure everything is good to go. Yep, it's saved, it's active. And then I'm going to go ahead and exit that. At that point, it takes me back to the main page with all the templates you can work with. Again, I really like this one on the lower left, the About Me one, because it just looks so good. You can go in and play with your heart's content to all the different cool landing pages you can build. But there's our new one. See where it says short link, get bit.ly? Do yourself a favor and get a bit.ly link so it's easier to remember these than this long giant URL. So if you click on the bit.ly URL, it's going to take you to bit.ly. I'm just going to go ahead and do this manually myself because I like to do things. Oh, so see where it did that? I don't like the way it did that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do a different way. Let me show you this. So if you copy the URL and you actually go to bit.ly, you can then make it a little bit more custom. So let's go ahead and see here. I'll log in. By the way, I have only the basic free account for bit.ly. You should only need the basic free account as well. Let's go ahead and create a new one. I'm going to create the long URL. And then I don't need to do anything else right now, but watch what happens. So I don't need to say anything else on it. But then I'm going to go ahead and click create. And then it's going to ask me, do you want to customize the back half? Yes, I do. Now, I already have look with Libert. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and edit that versus you can't do two of the same one in terms of what you call the page in Bitly. But look with Libert's been one I've been using for years. I had it directed to a very dead looking landing page. And now we've got the cool one. And you can also do all kinds of other stuff with the QR codes and things like that. But that is how you would save it. Then after that, you can title it to something different as well. I'm going to go in here and edit it so that I can edit a current link. You can't edit these links without a little bit of work. So notice, by the way, there it is, buyer resources. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then you can edit that later. So if you look at leverage with Libert, there's that one. Legacies with Libert, that's a different one. I got all kinds of different ones. We are going to work on together what you need to do to make these more valuable long-term. But what you do for in terms of just sharing it, watch this. So once you've got your landing page, and again, you could do it once it's a Bitly link. Otherwise, you could just share it, the long version, which I wouldn't recommend you do. But you can go ahead then and put it on your Facebook, put it on your social media, add it as a link anywhere else. I would love to see you, by the way, use these and show me what you're doing. So I can give you some suggestions, or maybe you can give me some suggestions, because trust me, I don't know everything about this yet either. I'm learning enough on it. Whoops, I don't know why that popped to that person's page. So let's see what's on my mind. Not much. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link. And then I don't like that without the, I would like it to have the change preview. I want a better preview than that. Go ahead and do this a different way. I want the thumbnail. It's not giving me the thumbnail. All right. So I want to play with this in a little bit. So the thumbnail ones are the ones that are more likely to get clicks on it. If the thumbnail, in this example right now, it's probably better from your mobile phone once you've got the link. If the thumbnail is not working, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let's see what it does on the leverage.ly/leverage. Oh, leverage. Come on, thumbnail. Yay, there we go. So my head's cut off, but I'll play with that later. So that is what you want to do to say, okay, here is a resource for you. Share the resource. Another option for you with social media is if you don't want to do the link that way, maybe you don't like links or you think that the algorithm pushes them down, is to do a static photo and then go through there with the link. So let me show you a sample of that, the way I did that last week. And then we're going to open it up for questions, because at that point, guys, you have the page built. So let's review. You have the page built. You have the drip campaign going. They've automatically gone into your Wise agent. And from there, you can do whatever you want to personally follow up, but they're going to get, at the very least, if you just use the basic template they have, a weekly email with information. Now, again, I would say later on, we're going to play with sending them text messages through the Wise text system, all the different other cool things you can do, adding video to these supplementary to those emails that come out, the ones that I just said, don't mess with it tonight in terms of customizing them. Go in and play with them and you edit them if you want to. You could do all kinds of things like sending them the buyer presentation, sending them the seller presentation if they're the seller, all different kinds of options. But let me go into from the other day what I did. to, I got so much stuff on here. Hold on. To do the upgrade conversation. That was not it. That was not it. Keep going. I played with this a little bit over a week ago, so it should be. Now, okay. We are going green at Team Libert or at Team EXIT Strategy. Check out this new solar powered 2-unit. Now, I just shared Wayne's listing because it was awesome, but you could post a picture of one of your listings or video of one of your listings and say, I have inventory for you if you are looking to buy. And if you don't have inventory, I have options for you. You know, go out and take a picture of the skyline. When I didn't have any listings, I would take any picture I could possibly get to get some clicks. And then underneath the picture, I would put the hyperlink. You can also say link in comments, so you avoid putting the link in by the picture. And actually in the comments, then you'd get that much more full thumbnail of the actual link. But let's go ahead and click on Legacies with Libert. And oh my gosh, there's a different landing page. So I got all kinds of different landing pages. I want you to try one and show me what you're doing. Try one and show me what you're doing before you do a bunch of them. I want to make sure that you understand how to add things to the drip campaign, that you've maybe sent yourself a copy of it. Maybe you sign in yourself. If you notice on this, I think that you really want to figure out making sure Zenlist, it goes automatically, that next page, it goes to Zenlist. So then they're signing in. Zenlist is a tool for buyers and sellers both. You could also have it go to a landing page that's maybe your digital buyer presentation or digital seller presentation. That's an option. But why not immediately get them into browsing property and researching their own? So guys, that is my presentation for this evening. I always try to keep them under an hour. I've got a few minutes for Q&A if you want to unmute yourself and ask any questions. So feel free to do so now. Otherwise, we'll get this video right out to you. And so you can start getting into your Wise Agent and creating these landing pages. Any questions?
Yes, Nick. I think last week when I did a one-on-one with you, I kind of forgot, what's the best way to find an email if you only have their phone number? Like, because Forewarn doesn't get, I didn't see any email. You don't get emails from there.
Okay, well, so that's so slightly different topic. I will answer the question. But actually, Patrice, you bring up a great reason why this is important. Landing pages prevent like a lack of information. You can spray and pray posts all day, but if you're not getting people's contact information, you're having to go out and dig for it. So right. Her question was, how do I get their email address? Well, by the way, if they're filling out your landing page, you got it. If you don't have their email address, but you've got their name, etc., I always say whitepages.com, you've got usphonebook.com, and my good friend, LinkedIn, because if you've got some of their information, if you go into LinkedIn and add them, most people have their contact information. So once they say yes to you and you're connected, look, there's my friend's email, there's their birthday. So think about it in terms of the multi-channel campaign. Do some digging if you're gonna, again, not on topic completely, but if you're not gonna get them to fill out a landing page, if you're going after them to get their information versus they're filling out the landing page because they came in through a lead magnet, like, hey, come talk to me, I've got Zenlist for you, or come talk to me, I'll do a free CMA. Fill out the form. If the form is asking for all their information, we don't have to worry about that. But right. That you're going to go out and get information on people that aren't filling out your form. These were the steps that I would take. Good question, though, and a good differential.
Yeah, it was more so for context that I have just in general anyway.
Oh, well, that's
it wasn't. It's not. I get the point. I get the point of the landing page.
So, okay, I don't mean to talk over you, but I'm going to answer that question. I would say to every single person in your phone that you don't have an email address for, hey, I've got some really cool upcoming events My office and I are throwing things like, oh guys, buy kettle. We're doing that free exercise class. We always have something going on. We're doing a gut health webinar. So there's always cool stuff. I've got some cool events coming up. Don't mention just real estate because maybe they don't want them. I've got some cool free events coming up. Can I get your email address? That's it.
Great.
If they're already your contact and they're somewhat friendly with you, you know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
So I think we addressed that at least for tonight, and obviously set up a one-on-one if we need to do some further digging. Any other questions though relating directly to landing pages and in general drip campaigns, how to automate every single one of these steps? Going once, going twice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for being here. If you want to save yourself some time and make more money by getting better lead conversion, get people into the drip campaigns. And the best way to do that, create a landing page. You can do one landing page for everybody. Say, fill out this form, get access to Zenlist, and you could even put a drop down in there as one of the questions, are you a buyer or a seller? And then from there, put them into the buyer seller campaign, except it's not quite as great. So I think the best way to do it, create a buyer one, create a seller one, and eventually you'll be like me with 100 landing pages. Thank you guys very much. Happy to talk to you more about this during Find Out Friday and walk you through any further steps, one-on-one or small group. See you soon.